Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. So in the previous session we have discussed about the thread life cycle and also the difference between the multitasking and multi-threading. So we have discussed that a complete program is called some task, right? And each program is having a multiple threads. So individual part of a running program, we call it as a thread. So in this session we will see how to implement a single thread. Right. We will see the implementation of a single thread. So a thread can be implemented in two different ways. One is using inheritance, second one is using interfaces. That is runnable interface, right? So first one we will see with the using inheritance. So that means there is a class called thread class. There is a class called thread class. So whatever the program we are writing, that will extend this thread class. So first we will see this one. So if you write any class, right, class some single thread, it should extend the thread class. Extends thread. So there is a class called a thread class, thread, right? So here see, this one is a derived class and this one is a base class. So here a single thread is a derived class of a thread class. Now we know that from the inheritance concept, if you create an object for this derived class, with the help of that derived class object, we can access the variables and methods of the base class also. We may access or may not access, right? So we may access. Now here a thread class consists of different methods. So it consists of different methods. So there are different methods available in this thread class. So we'll see one by one in the next sessions, right? So in that method, every thread class or every thread will be started its processing by calling the function called start function. From the start function itself, a thread will be starting its process, executing its process. And this start function, so this means thread starts execution by calling this start function, and this start function will implicitly calls the run function. See, so implicitly calls the run function, right? So here we have to observe that the start, run and everything are in thread class. So we are accessing these methods or these functions with the derived class object. We have to create a derived class object, and through the derived class object we will access this start and run. So whatever the thread process we have to execute, that should be written in this run function. So whatever the process we want to execute under the thread, that should be written in run. That means we are overriding the run function, right? So run function is already available in thread, and here we are writing our own logic in this run function. That means we are overriding this run function of a thread class in the derived class, right? So in the main function we have to call this start. We have to call the start, and implicitly that will calls the run function. See, let us write a simple thing so that you will be understood. First, we will see with the inheritance concept. So class, let it be a single. So we are creating a single thread, right? Single extends thread. So thread is a class, already available class. Here we have to write the run function, because whatever the process we want to execute under the thread, that should be written in run function. So run function is the overriding function. So public void. So the scope and the parameters, everything should be same in both the derived and base class. So the syntax for this run is this one, right? Here we have to write the logic. Whatever the logic you can write, you can write here. Simply we can write system dot out dot println thread. Right? Close the single. Now write the main function. So we can write the main function. We have to create one more thing. So single thread, class single thread. Now in this one we have to write the main function public static void main arguments. Here we have to create an object for the derived class. So single some s is equal to new single. See here s is an object, so we can write anything, s, t, obj, whatever it may be, right? So now with the help of this object we have to call the start function. So s dot start. So whenever the function calls this start function, it will implicitly calls the run function. So automatically it will call this run function. It will display thread as output. Not only the system.out.println, we can write our logic in the run function, right? See, here we can use some for loop, some I int I is equal to 0, some I less than 5, I plus plus, and instead of writing all the thread, we can directly print I, so that the output will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, because less than 5, so it's a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So whatever the logic we want to execute under the thread, that should be written in run. That means overridden function. That should be remembered. Run is a overridden function. Now, so hope you understood this one. Implementation of a thread using the inheritance. Now let us see using interface. So interface also the logic is same. So there also the thread process starts with the start function, and the start function implicitly calls the run function, and whatever the logic we want to write under the thread should be written in run function. There also run will be the overridden function, right? But the implementation is slightly different. So here we are inheriting the thread, but in the second process we will implement the runnable interface. So we know that interface consists of abstract methods. So in the previous sessions we have seen interface is just it will be having a function declarations but not the definitions. So here we will write the function definitions. See, let us start writing this one. The second case, instead of extends this thread, it will implements runnable. There is an interface name called runnable which executes the thread. So here first we have to create an object, but this doesn't execute the run function. So this must be passed as a parameter to the interface, I mean thread class. See, thread some t is equal to new thread of s. Now we can write s dot now we can implement this t dot start. Hope you understood this one. The remaining is same. So whatever the logic we want to write, that will be written in a run function, and we have to create an object for this derived class. But here we are implementing the runnable interface, so we have to pass that runnable interface object as a parameter to the thread class. So that reference will be assigned to t. So t dot start, it will implicitly calls the run function and it will be executed. So the output will be again same 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So these are the two methods to implement a single thread. Right? So first one is inheritance, second one is interface. Interface means only function declarations but not the definitions. Here we will write the run function and then we will pass the object to the as a parameter to the thread class. So hope you understood this simple implementation of a thread. So now let us stop here and we will see this implementation of a thread using the inheritance and the interface in the system, and then we will wind up. In the next session we will see the methods of a thread class. So there are several methods available in a thread class. So that we will see, and then followed by the multiple threads, how to create a multiple threads. So here just we are creating a single thread, right? So the problem arises when there will be a multiple threads. So which one will be executed first and which one will be executed next? So that question rises in the multi-threading concept. So let us wind up here. Now let us see the implementation part of this single thread using the inheritance and interface in the system. Hello friends. So just now we have seen the implementation of a single thread. So a thread can be implemented using in two ways. One is with the help of inheritance, another one is with the help of interface. So we will see the two programs for creating a single thread, that means implementing using the inheritance as well as implementing using the interface. Right. Now let us go with the inheritance. Yes. Right. So let us import the statements. Next, let us write a class called a single thread. Which extends thread class. So as we have discussed just now that every class should be extending the thread class. Now everything should be written in run command and run method. So run method is one of the life cycle method of a thread, which is implicitly called by the start function of a thread. And run is a overriding method. So run is available in thread, and so we are overriding the same run function here itself. Now see, I am just printing the I value. Right. And now I will create a main class. So single thread. Write down the main function. Arguments. Now create an object for that single thread. Single t is equal to new single. Now as we have discussed just now that every thread will be started its execution from the start function. So we have seen the life cycle in the previous session. So the first method should be called is start. So whenever the object dot start is executed, automatically the thread it will implicitly calls the run function in a thread class. So here we are overriding the run function in the single class. So whenever the pointer executes this t dot start, that automatically implicitly it will execute the run command, I mean run method, which is written in class single. See, so this is the creation of a single thread using inheritance concept. So let us save this one, st.java. Save these programs in threads concept, st.java. Now let us execute this one, java c st.java. Right, so there is a lot of mistakes. Okay, we have not declared this variable, so simply we can write it int I. Yes, now execute here. Yes, so compilation is successful. Now execute this one, st.java. Sorry, java st. See, we can observe here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So coming to the program, we are just creating an object for the class which extend the thread class, and with the object we are calling the method of a thread class. So we know that in the inheritance, from the derived class object we can access both the derived class and base class methods. So here the start, stop, start, run, sleep, there are different commands available in a thread class. So by using the child object, that is a single class object t, we are just calling the start function. So here in the thread concept, t dot start, it implements after executing this statement, the thread will automatically executes the run function. So here we are overriding the run function. So thread class is also having a run function, but here we are overriding the run function in class, derived class, which extends the thread. Right. So as we know that any program will start its execution from the main function. So here it will come here automatically a single t. It will search for the constructor single. So there is no constructor, just leave it. Object is created, t dot start. So automatically implicitly run function will be executed. So run function is this one. So I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to 5, I plus plus system dot out dot println I. So it obviously it displays 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Right? Here we are not calling this run function, but still we are executing the program. That means t dot start will implicitly calls this run function. Right? So hope you understood this one. This is the implementation of a single thread using inheritance concept. That means here we are using extend. Now we will see the single thread using interface. See. Right. So here we will write single implements, because we are implementing the interfaces. So interface execution will be done by using the implement keyword. So single implements runnable interface. So as we have discussed just now, there will be a runnable interface for thread implementation. So we have to implement this runnable. Now write the same thing, public void run. So overriding method. So for int I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to 5, I plus plus, then again system dot out dot println I. Close this one. Right. Now create a main class thing, str, single thread runnable. Write down the main function, public static void main arguments. Right. Now here we have to create an object for this class. So single t is equal to or s is equal to new single. But this is the object which implements a runnable interface. Now we have to create a thread class. Thread t is equal to new thread of, you have to pass the object of this runnable interface to the thread class. Now we can start it. Hope you understood this one, right? So as it is a runnable interface, we have to create a thread class and we have to pass the object of the class to the thread class. See, in the first step we are creating an object for the runnable interface class, and in the second line we are passing the same object as a parameter to the thread class, right? So here T object, T is the thread class object. By using the thread class object, we are just implementing the calling the start function. This implicitly calls the run function of the thread, and this code will be executed. Now let us see this one. str.java. str.java. Right. Java str. See, here also we can observe the output, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this happens because we are creating an object for the runnable interface class, and then we are passing this object to the thread class, and through this thread object we are just applying the, we just calling the start function, which implicitly calls the run function. So here also just a start function, our thread will be starting with the start function. It implicitly calls the run function. The first step is start, second step is run, right? So hope you understood this one. So in the previous one we are implementing the single thread using inheritance, that means extends the thread class directly. The derived class extends the thread class. So there we can create an object for the derived class, and from the object we can call the start function. Whereas here we are the class which implements the runnable interface, we have to create an object for that, and we have to pass that object to the thread class, right? So let us stop here. In the next session we will see the different methods of a thread function, thread class. So if you really understood my sessions, like my sessions, share my sessions with your friends, and if you are having any doubts regarding this Java, feel free to post your doubts in the comment section, so that I will definitely try to clarify all your doubts. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.